Good morning, you guys. Grumpy One. This is my next YouTube video. I did make this video previously, but I decided to redo it. I was using a wide angle lens, and I apologize about the poor lighting ahead of time. Okay. This is just a single pole switch. It is not a big deal, but mistakes can be made here, and that's what the video is about. Trying to get you not to make too many mistakes. Okay. The power is off right now. I just want you guys to see this real quick. Take your screws out your cover. Before you take the cover off, if you have old paint, you're going to want to scribe with a knife or something around the edge, or your screwdriver. That's all you got. You're trying not to tear up the paint or nothing like that. Okay. Just want to explain a couple of things real quick. It's easier to explain if I pull the switch out, at least to show you what you're looking at. Okay. These switches usually go to some device like an outlet or a light fixture. This goes to my light fixture outside. Okay. Just want you guys to see what's going on there. We use aluminum wiring here in the location I'm at now, which is rather annoying. Copper wiring is easier. Aluminum expands at a different rate, so you have problems. You're supposed to use screws that have, this is not even the correct switch, but it's supposed to be aluminum, so hopefully they expand at the same rate where they don't come loose. Another thing I found here in Virginia, they don't have tape around any of the devices. I don't know why. I guess I was grandfathered in when they did the electrical work. I prefer to put tape around it when I'm finished my work. For this illustration, we have a new single pole switch here, similar like this, no paint on it, off, on. We can test that with continuity. Okay, I got a meter right here. Let's put on the continuity. Put on a little light there. Apologize about the clumsiness, excuse me. Let's get the switch in place here. And my meter has an audible beep, so you'll be able to hear it at least. I can't actually show it to you. So I'm allowed to send a little bit of current through the device and just let me know the switch is working. Using my meter and running continuity tests with a brand new switch. In order to do that properly here, you should actually disconnect either the line or the load. The line on this particular switch is coming into the bottom, and that's the current that's coming in. The load is what's pulling the current, which would be the other device, the light fixture outside. Okay, the easier way to test that is to go through the trouble where that white wire is inside, take the cap off of that, but I'm not going to do that. I can put my negative lead on the white wire and I can tell which one has power when the switch is off. When the switch is on, they both get power because it's running through the switch. Okay, when it's off, I'll have power on one. Top one, I'll know that's the load where it has no power because the switch is off. Okay, that makes it easier to turn on and off. The other thing is, if you're looking at the light outside, I open this door, I can look at the light outside, and I can turn off the correct breaker, so I know I have the power off. And I can also use my multimeter and tell me I have current or I don't have current, which is probably the best way. Really taking your time, being patient here, seeing if you have current or not. Okay, because I'll still get current here because I'm bypassing the switch. And of course I'm blocking the light. Sorry about that. See if I can do this correctly. You guys can see the meter. 119.6. Okay, I'm bypassing the switch. That's why I'm getting a reading despite it being off. So the proper way to do this is put my black one on, the neutral in there. A lot of times you won't even see a neutral. You'll just see two black wires, and you'll only have electricity coming in, lines usually at the bottom and loads usually at the top. So when you turn the switch on, you get power outside. Okay, so we discussed cleaning around the plate before you take it off so you don't mess up the paint. We discussed line, load, single pole switch, only one throw. Three-way switch, a different story, different explanation, different video. No neutral. There is a neutral in here, so I can actually run a switch with an outlet in here. Sometimes you only see 2 black wires. You might have a metal box like up north with armored cable that we use. So that can be a ground to armored cable in the box going back to the device. Here we don't in Virginia. If you're up north and you have something like that, please don't use a line load and then connect neutral through a metal box, which is the ground. You're sending current to the ground, which is usually a bare wire on your plumbing next to your meter downstairs in the basement, or you might have a rod outside where you see a bare wire connected. That's your ground. You can actually call this a fire like that. Up north we might call that a Bronx neutral. Not a good idea, ever. If you don't have the proper wiring here, do not add the improper device by compensating something like that. Okay, here you do have a neutral white wire there, so you can do whatever you like. There is no ground in here, just neutral and hot. So even here I wouldn't want to add a device because there is no ground in there. I would kind of leave it alone. Just pretty much use it as a switch, which is what it is. Okay, so we got a nice clean setup here. You can just put everything back. Let's take it easy, don't do anything crazy here, and we'll be fine. After you turn the power off, you check with your meter, make sure you have no current. You can change your wires. One of the things I would like to discuss before we finish with the video, the set screws here go in a certain direction. So you're trying to wrap the wire around the direction the set screw turns. It's tighter and it stays in place better. If you do it the other way, you just stick it in clean, you're not going to get a proper install. So you really want to wrap that wire around that screw the best you can. Usually you use a pair of needle nose pliers or electrical snips or strippers, and they have enough teeth there where you can tighten the wire around the screw after you get it slightly around. And it's got a place for the wire set in place, stuff like that. Some of these have holes inside where you can put them in. You don't have to tighten the screw so much. Some of them you have to tighten the screw. So there are all kinds of different devices out there that you can use, but this is just a simple single pole switch. Okay, I hope I gave you guys enough information on what's going on here. I can't really think of much more to say except use caution. You're testing live. Having gloves is a good idea. Usually the most that happens if you spark something, you stick your screwdriver and you arc something the wrong way by mistake, you just throw the breaker. But having gloves is a nice safety because you're not going to get electrocuted. Okay, if you arc something by mistake. Alright, I can put my cover back on. We should be finished with this illustration. And always shut off the power before you change any device, whether it's an outlet or switch or something like that. Okay, a lot of us guys do it live. We have a lot of training. But let me tell you something. It isn't 100% that we don't make a slight mistake and get bit by electricity. We touch it with our finger or screwdriver or something like that. Okay? So it's better always someone not doing this all the time, shut off the power. And even those who do this all the time, shutting off the power is recommended. Highly recommended. Using caution. Even you got kids, a pet running around, you don't want to be interfere. You don't want to be distracted doing something like this. You want keep your attention on what you're doing. So no kids, no pets when you're doing something like this. Make sure the electricity is off with your meter and your device. Okay, putting your device on, shutting off electricity at the breaker. Okay, any other questions you guys ask? I think that's enough for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Grumpy out.